Yo guys, and welcome back to the Touchliner. Ben, how you doing?
Hello. I'm okay, my friend. How are you?
I'm good. I'm well, actually.
He's well.
Some would say very well, very well done to both of our teams. 2 wins.
Both getting big W's. A bit of this, bit of
Bit of
that.
this in the chat. West Side, if you know, you know. United solidifying their place in top five, and Newcastle against all the odds with a
Yeah,
late push for Europe,
yeah,
coming into the
yeah.
last 8 games of the season. Now, shall we begin with your team? Been a
We
great
always
couple
do.
weeks. Great
Yeah,
couple weeks for Newcastle. Tell us
been
all
very
about
good.
it.
Well, should we start off with the Barcelona?
Yes. We did lose to Newcastle. Done. All right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
Barcelona.
We'll ignore that. We'll ignore that. We'll ignore the touchline of derby. We made a lot of content about, and we all said United were going to win, and then we
I
lost.
said we
Oh
draw. To
no,
be fair, I said we draw. You gotta
it's true.
believe. You gotta believe. But yes, Barca.
Barcelona, I'm going to make a very obviously brief statement before I talk about anything to do with, the game or the tactics or the score or anything like that. Lewis Hall just solidified himself as the best left back in the Premier League, and
Hmm.
is there much doubt? I can't lie. I've been seeing a lot of Champions League account. I've been seeing the Champions League account, Premier League account. I've seen it. I think I saw the Barcelona account as well post a highlight of Lamar taking down the
Yeah.
ball on his back foot like a nice touch, but he literally loses the ball and then
Yeah.
like gets dispossessed by Lewis Hall, and then Lewis Hall tracks about 20 yards up the pitch and just takes him out of the game. Let me tell you, Lewis Hall just pocketed the most promising prospect in football pretty easily. I think Lamar. Right. First of all, I always call him Lamal and Yamal. I just want to get that out there. I can never remember this brother's name, but this guy only completed. Actually, wait, no, he didn't. He didn't even complete a
No, he
single
didn't.
dribble
He didn't.
against Lewis Hall.
He didn't.
The definition of locked up. The definition.
It's
And
true.
I honestly think a little bit of respect needs to be put on this kid's name, because I don't want to jump too far ahead, but who do you play? I mean, you don't play Luke Shaw at left back. This World Cup, surely not.
I would hope you start Lewis Hall. I think he is the best. He is the best left back, or England's best left back for sure. In the Premier League, I would say so too. I don't think there's a
Yeah.
standout contender really.
It's
Um,
his defensive ability is good, but he's also quite an attacking minded player. He gets the ball up the pitch. He drives up. He's one of those like players that can drive into the middle of the pitch and like do these cheeky little side steps and beat 2, 3 players and then play that through ball through, like we did see with we saw it in the Chelsea game and the Barcelona game. He cuts into the middle, drives past 2 players, plays the through ball to Harvey Barnes, and Barnes made it 1-0. And then we have the refereeing. The refereeing for Barcelona, let me just tell you, it's a little bit different to what I've seen before. Yamal already on a yellow card coming into this game. If he got another yellow card, he would have been suspended for the follow-up fixture this week coming.
yeah, yeah.
Let me tell you, this man basically assaulted Lewis Hall and got nothing. Just a little none of that from the referee. Didn't think about bringing out a card or anything. It's ridiculous, and that's massive for us now because he's been rested in the La Liga and he's been rested now for Newcastle, so that'll be fun. But I think 1-1. You concede a penalty late into the game.
See it out. Take it to the
Yeah,
corner. Take it to the
that's it.
corner. You're going for a second.
Newcastle,
Why?
they lack that kill the game mentality like big teams, big six teams know how to do. Okay, you're pushing into those European spots, and those are the places where it gets competitive. You need every single point. You need every single win. And we've seen too many times this season Newcastle be ahead, be 1-0 up, be a goal up in the late stages of the game and concede. And then even concede a winner for the other team. It blows my mind how this team lacks that sort of maturity to just see it out.
Mm.
It's like the fifth time this season that's happened. But, it was a penalty. I'm not going to, say it was anything like the PSG one of last season or the season before, whenever that was. This was a straight up penalty. I mean, he sticks a leg out, he goes
Yeah.
over. Malik Chow, what are you doing? All they had to do was kill the game, and now we're going 1-1 to Camp Nou, and I don't know. I have faith that we
He's
could
got
actually.
faith. He's got
I
faith.
actually do have faith. I can't lie.
You know what it was,
Um,
right? We gave you the catalyst.
It's true.
We gave you the win, an important win, and that seems to have rejuvenated the squad. You didn't win, but you held Barcelona, who in the previous 3 games were on a winning streak, and now
Yeah.
you're going to go to the Camp Nou, not only with that draw, but with a win against Chelsea under your belt.
Yeah. Away.
1-0. That's the second time in the whole Premier League era that Newcastle have beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge since that Cisse game. The Cisse goal, the insane banana outside of the foot.
Arguably the greatest brace of all time.
Yeah.
Arguably. Up
People
there.
forget the first goal. They forget that.
Yeah. The first goal, touch, flicked up on his left, top corner. Oh, man. That is a beauty.
It's true.
I think the Chelsea game is just another example of this Chelsea team being inconsistent. I mean, they looked completely off the mark. I can come in here all day and say how good Newcastle were and how the energy was up and how we blew them out of the water. Honestly, for momentum-wise, they were all over us pretty much the whole game. I think we just had a bit more of that grit, a bit more of that fight, a bit more of that winning spirit and, winning the 50-50s. And then you look at the goal and it's weird. Their 2 centre-backs are so stretched. Joe Willock's just waiting for that through ball. Yeah. Gets played through. Easy pro club sweat across the box to Gordon, and he taps it in off the post. So, and from there, honestly, I didn't really feel like Chelsea ever threatened us. It felt like, honestly, it's not surprising our Chelsea friend was pretty absent from the group chat that night. Because let me tell you, that was a hard-to-watch performance, I think, as a Chelsea fan.
It was bad. It was, honestly, I watched the thing from start to finish. I think I put down here, Howe's woken up. Because I think he's finally remembered how Newcastle would win games, maybe in situations where they wouldn't be expected to win. Going to Stamford Bridge, a place where historically you're not very good. 3 wins since 1986. And he's decided, you know what, that's okay. I'm okay to concede possession. You have the ball, but when we get the ball, we're going. And that is the situation where Gordon up front actually makes sense. As we saw. The defense was unreal. I mean, I think that was one of the best, most stubborn defensive performances I've seen since maybe Everton at Old Trafford earlier this season when they put everyone behind the ball. But the difference is Everton weren't trying to score. Newcastle looked dangerous. I think the stats popped up at one point and Chelsea had 3, all these shots, but only 3 on target. And you had 7 shots and 5 on target. And I think that's the difference. Newcastle have always been a threat in transition. And Howe's remembering that. And I think he's got to lean into that now. At Camp Nou, he needs to lean into that. And I think in this run-in against Arsenal at the Emirates, you have to do that. You've got to replicate this performance.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about playing on that sort of playing quite defensive and then playing them on the break and being dangerous on the counter, that is something that we've missed so much all season. And then even then, when we do it in some games, the quality in the final third is just so lackluster sometimes. And sometimes it genuinely feels like some players are too scared to take shots, and then other times, it feels like this is a restriction on the freedom to try and score sometimes, if that makes sense. Often we're not going to have a player just taking the ball on, taking on a player or two and shooting, like a El Krupi or a Fernandez or something like that. We don't really have that at the moment. And I know that we played really well and we played high intensity and we played on the break. That's great. If you have Gordon up front, that's what you do, right? But I still think our best performances this season have come when Voltemada has been in the 9.
That's fair.
And I just think we work better if we play to our players' strengths.
Yeah.
And if you don't isolate Voltemada at the top in the 9, if you give him the opportunity to either come deep or have people playing either side of him, off of him, that's when you're going to get the best out of Voltemada. If you have a player like Barnes or Gordon near him, near enough that he can play a little flick pass, a little 1-2, that's when you're going to get the best out of Voltemada. Having him playing this 4-5-1 in defence, where he's just another man in the midfield, and having him drop back sometimes in possession, it's just when we get caught on the break and he is then a one-on-one player with, let's say, a Pedri or let's say a Foden, he's already out the game. Like, he's too slow and too big to take on these players in the midfield where there's open space. It's fine when it's a 4-5-1 and he's sitting nice and deep, but in transition, if Voltemada is caught in space when he's supposed to be defending, he's getting blown past every time. He's not physically at that point where he is like a Joe Linton where he can run. He's not got that acceleration. He's not got that power. You know, you've got to play these players to their strengths. I just think that while I really enjoyed the Barcelona performance, the second one, I just think that we're still missing that key up front. And I know Gordon's done it in the Champions League and he's scored a lot of goals, but Gordon is not a number 9. And we cannot keep going through this cycle of playing Gordon as a 9. He is more dangerous coming off the left, in my opinion. The amount of goals I have seen, I mean, the goal against Man City, I think it was last season, it was like 2-2, comes off the left, inside. Him and Isak both had like the same goal, basically. And I just miss that. I just miss that dynamism off the wing, that now when he's in the middle, he's either isolated or running in behind. He doesn't have that mojo that he used to. And yeah, I just hope that this window, I think, will be big, depending on how they approach it, especially on the striker front. Do they go then and sign another striker? Because Vissa's on the bench and Osula is playing over him. Like, what does that say about your faith in Johan Vissa right now? That's not a good look. As like, Osula was gone in January, if you remember. Fucking Frankfurt wanted him for 30 million, and we were happy to give him away. So it's confusing to me. We're in a weird situation now where we're going in even now to the second game at Barcelona, and yeah, we could get a very good result there, but we really like our final third quality needs to be the best it's been, because you're not going to get many chances against that possession-heavy Barca side. Yes, they have a high line, but it's not as high as it has been since the start of the season. It's getting better, so we really need to play on that. Have Voltemada as high up as you can get him to where he's involved, and then play Gordon or Barnes off of him. Honestly, play him as the cam and play Barnes and Gordon, or Elanga and Gordon as two strikers, and play them off of Voltemada. Eddie Howe, if you're listening, I have my FA Level 1 coaching badge, okay? I know my stuff.
Yeah.
Right? Elanga at striker.
Yeah. He's a goal scorer. Look, I'm excited. I think this could go either way. I mean, Gavi just came back for them.
It's true.
I don't know how much of a role he'll play.